Booker T. Washington was one of the most influential African American speakers of his time. He was one of the last in his generation to still be born a slave. He was born a slave from his mother, who was a cook named Jane. She worked for a small planter, and his dad was an unknown white male. And that led him to be of the last people born into slavery. And so later on, Brooker gave himself the surname Washington, which was his mother's current now husband with children too, his siblings, his half siblings. And he started to attend school while working in the salt mines, and he later worked in the house of the owner of the salt mine, so he was a housemaid. And the only way he was able to attend Hampton Institute, where he was an excellent student, was he had to walk 500 miles in 1872 to school. And once he got there, he had to work from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single morning just to go to school at the local salt mines. And he ended up, after all of that, he graduated Hampton Institute with honors. And he did so well there, was so well known, that he was then recommended by Hampton Institute to start Tuskegee Institute. And so that was something I really, really enjoyed about him, was that he really focused on educating others. And so he built Tuskegee Institute by having the students build Tuskegee Institute and build bricks and sell the bricks and build the buildings while also attending classes. He first bought 100 acres and expanded that to 540 acres. And later, when he passed away from congenital heart failure, he left it at 2,000 acres and made tremendous developments there. So that also, he left 1,500 students, 200 faculty members, and $2 million of endowment to carry out his work. We also now know that during all of this time, Booker T. Washington was secretly funding court cases that were related to segregation. And he was doing this to challenge them, which was great. And he also wrote letters in code to defend against the lynch mobbings. His work in the field of education really helped give hope to African Americans that they just didn't have. And so that was just what made him so influential and important, was he was providing hope. And his public speaking, he was infamously known for his conflicts with W.E.B. Du Bois over segregation, but he is still remembered as the most influential African American speaker of his time. And he was the first African American to be invited into the White House in 1901. He was also advising the presidents after that. So he would advise Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt really understood how he had such a perspective that Theodore Roosevelt could not have. And so he was advising the president, as well as he also advised William Howard Taft afterwards. And after that, he founded the National Negro Business League, which became so important into getting African Americans into the business field that they were not previously in. And while he also wrote several poems and novels to describe what he was going through and really make people understand. And so the most known poems, and the ones that I enjoyed the most, are Home of the Slaves, Truly History in the Making, Let Me Rephrase That, and Dinner at the White House. He also wrote five novels. The Story of My Life and Work, Up from Slavery, the story of the Negro, the rise of the race and slavery. I'm sorry, the rise of the race from slavery. My larger education, the man furthest down. All of these things made Booker T. Washington so influential to America and what we know today, and how, and having us come